We're live.
We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Iron and Ceremite podcast. Things have changed. The edition has changed. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Hello, Shane. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Happy 50th as well. This is our 50th episode.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah,
Happy 50th.
I
Happy
was put,
anniversary. Half
yeah,
anniversary.
I was putting up well, when I was putting it up earlier, yesterday, in fact, I was like, is it really episode 50? Unless I've miscounted, which could easily be the case,
Yeah.
that is our 50. So there we go.
Wow. We've only been doing
And
it for, well, how long? When did we start this?
uh,
COVID.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Wow.
Right, it's fine. It's good enough.
A
But
short hiatus, and we're back.
yeah, what a time to hit 50.
Yeah, I know.
Because like just peeking over your shoulder
Oh, yeah. Very
is
gingerly hanging off of the thermostat.
mm, also ensuring no one else in the family can get near the thermostat. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. It-
It lasted that long.
yeah, it is
Don't
of
touch
course.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Armageddon of time of live streaming was available out yesterday, right? Like
Yes.
officially.
Yep.
You got your copy yesterday.
Yep.
Obviously, few people have got copies knocking around, content creators, the sort. But officially out yesterday. You've got the box. First impression. We all know what was going to be in the box, but how was it? How was it? How was it opening it?
Oh, it was lovely. Like, I've never opened a new
Yeah, I was
edition
going to
box
say.
before, so
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
it was nice. I mean, you know what? Been on TikTok, oh, do you know what? I'm going to make an effort and film a TikTok video, but there's thousands of them before the box even come out. And
Yeah,
obviously GW did it, so I mean, it's great.
good.
Like the all the sprues were resting on top, and then you get a nice. I don't know if you get one before, but all your
Yeah,
books and cards are in another box,
yeah, that's
nice
it.
and safe. And then the nice core rules book isn't a backbreaker.
So I think my book rule book will be coming through next week. Obviously, all the rules are online anyway, and we'll go into that in a minute because we
Yeah,
were able to take advantage of that. And yeah, obviously you got the sprues, so that's good. So a whole load of pile of future fun to work through.
yeah.
Um, and then all I was going to say, is have you had a chance to look through the cards or anything like that yet?
No, not really, because as we were just talking about, I had a very busy weekend building the Warhammer shed.
Yes,
So I haven't had time to do too much fiddling with it other
of
than
course.
hang the box up behind me.
Yes,
um,
so at the same time we had Armageddon Launch Box Edition being delivered. You've also had the Armageddon Shed being delivered.
yes, yeah, yeah. So while I was building the shed, I sent Kate down to Gravesend to pick up my reserve box.
Very nice, very nice.
So she got to go in. She was very impressed. Oh, she went with my mum because they went and did a bit of shopping, and
Of course,
obviously
yeah,
made a big deal about going into the nerd shop. And there was people playing Magic the Gathering in there. She was like, "Oh,
of
there was
course.
all these men in there looking very serious, playing a little card game. Very sad." I was like, "All right, calm down."
Yeah, Magic the Gathering's great. Like, well,
Yeah,
but back when I played it, at least,
yeah.
I'm sure it's still just as good. But yes,
But
yeah,
yeah, the box is here. I didn't really, like I said, I had a brief look through it. Um, but yeah, it's just been so busy building a shed in the hottest weekend of the bloody year so far.
yes, exactly. Well, and you'll have time in the hottest week of the year so far next week to finish it off. So
Yeah, yeah, can't
that's
wait.
very, very, very good.
Yeah,
So I suppose with the other thing we got up to with obviously you unboxing and having the new box ready to go, we also managed to get our first game in.
yeah, we did.
So pre-box launching on Friday, we we had Space Wolves versus Death Guard.
Yes.
With the new edition, with the new rules, with the new missions, with everything else, trying to use the new app. And yeah, a few different bits and pieces came up as we played. Generally speaking, pretty smooth sailing for an
Yeah,
edition changeover.
yeah. There was nothing like. nothing stopped ground us to a halt for too long, did it? There was a few rule
No.
checks that I'm sure we're going to go into,
Yes,
but it was all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think overall, like as like I think everyone's mileage on the app will differ, of course. Like we experienced some bugs. Like on your side, it was relatively limited. Like it was only once
yeah,
we got to turn four or something like that. One of the secondaries was on there twice, but wasn't scored twice, so the scoring worked fine. Um, Weirdly, on my tablet, it completely fritzed out. So
yeah,
like locked all of the content and stuff like that. Even though on my phone it was working fine, it has now resolved. So that like feeds into our theory that they're just going to be all over it all of the time.
yeah,
So overall, it worked fine. I also used the tabletop battles app as well, which was also updated for the edition. That worked absolutely fine. The only issue, I suppose, with the tabletop battles one is it doesn't tell you what the secondaries actually are.
no,
Like, it will tell you what like the name of the secondary, but it won't tell you how you score it. So that's why we were kind of using both apps because the GW app does tell you what the secondaries are and how to score it. So you can be entirely digital as long as the app doesn't glitch or break or anything like that.
yeah. I think, as I've said, once they fix the bugs, that app's going to be. I think it should be great. All like tabletop, but it'd be like the same as when the app come out and Battle
Yeah.
Squad died,
Yes.
didn't it? And it's going to do the same to the majority of apps. Obviously, you've got people that are like so anti GW, they'll use what they're using for whatever
Yeah.
reason. But this, if they can get it to work properly, which hopefully they do soon, will be really good. I
Yeah.
really like the layout.
I think they've done a good job. As I said, there's still work to be done, and
Yeah,
if they commit to getting that done and it syncs up with everything, then I think it will work quite nicely. Um, as I said, I think now the cards will be in a lot of people's hands, and for those that pre-ordered, I think it's next week as they're filming that the cards will be in even more people's hands. So I think that will help make it easier between the apps anyway. And it might be that, as I said, people will favor one over the other regardless. I don't, because I don't think you only need the Warhammer Plus subscription to get like multi rosters in the app and stuff like that.
mm,
So there's nothing else locked, which is good. Because that I think that's one of the big kind of stops or people find get reticent about the app is because they don't want to pay for Warhammer Plus, which I can understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Warhammer Plus only has so much value. I get that. Even in its first year when it was arguably its best, it still wasn't it's incredible, but
The content on there isn't
it,
sort of what it hasn't come out like we thought it was. It's like
no,
you'd expect like a series a month or something like that. It's been a couple of and all their series are 5 episodes if you're lucky, and
yeah,
that's taken a year for them to drip them out. I mean, there's other stuff on there, not shelling for Games Workshop, but if it was loads of animations,
yeah,
you'd be more up for it because that's what you want. You don't necessarily want to see another painting guide or another
no,
person just reading a bit of lore off of out of a codex. So
yeah. There's bits and pieces of it that are certainly more valuable than others. But
yeah,
as I said, that's where I can understand why people might not then pay for the app, and that might, that might happen that way. But that's fine
I,
generally.
I I like the I like that you can see each other's lists um, relatively easily. Everything was on there, wasn't it? That you needed.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really we checked each other because we know we play with each other all the time, so we know that we're not making stuff up or going too far wrong. But it is quite nice where you can have a look at someone else's rules beforehand and go, oh, I need to
yeah.
avoid that or
I
prepare for
think I think they've improved the search functionality as well. I
that. Yeah,
think the times we searched for stuff, it did seem to work a bit better. We were getting rules that we wanted to look at rather than, you know, being led down rabbit holes and not necessarily finding what we were trying to find.
yeah,
So that was good. The one thing, and people can tell me if I'm wrong, and you can tell me if I'm wrong as well here, John, because I haven't been able to find it yet. Which is the one thing that now that we've played a game and stuff like that, I'd actually find really useful is where it tells you what your primary mission will be based on your force dispositions. So, for example, um, in the ones we were playing, I had taken hold and you had disruption,
Yeah,
right? And it was only after we'd kind of done that in the app or whatever that it tells you this is what your primary mission is.
yeah,
And we also know that for each disposition, there's 5 different missions because yeah, I think it's 5 different missions because
something
they
like that.
will, or 5 or 15 or whatever it is, because they'll cross-reference with whatever your opponent is. So there's a set number of different primary missions. I would find it really useful just to have a reference to say these are the missions you could have.
Yeah,
Like I can't find it in the app anywhere. So if I look for like taken hold or purge the foe, the closest I found so far is an article on tabletopbattles.com that, and I know there will be other content providers that have done this as well. That like, so I looked for what else I was looking at. So it's a review for Purge the Foe. So this was back from the 3rd of June, start of the month when they kind of first launched it.
yeah,
Um, and so you get like if as a Purge the Foe player,
yeah.
in fact, let me share my screen so I can illustrate it. As a Purge the yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So as a Purge the Foe player, I'm going to get the matchup like versus Taken Hold. It's Unstoppable Force, and that's how that tells me how I would score, how your opponent scores. If I'm versus Purge the Foes, it's a mirror match. You get Meat Grinder, which is as what you'd expect it to be, and again, how to do it. If you're versus Reconnaissance, it's Consecrate. If, like, for example, it was what we Disruption, it would be Punishment. So that's fine. I suppose the difficulty I had was that I wasn't able to find this in any of the GW stuff. So
So
I couldn't find it in the app, and if it is in the app, or you can only or I could only find it once you start putting in who you're playing.
yeah, I've just pulled out the chapter approved
I know
box,
it's in there, right?
and it
They
is
should,
there. Yeah, but is it? I don't know if it's on the thing, but this is actually everything that you need is here.
yeah. So
What you're talking about?
that's the bit that like is the bit that I'm like you might need the cards for
Yeah,
those bits because for me as an obsessive planner, right, I want to look at my army, look at the dispositions that I have available,
yeah,
and then kind of look at it and go, right, I because various we're bouncing around here, but for example, this is all in the app, but we go to the Munitorum Field manual that they've kindly shared with us as well. Um, hang on, let me share it. Is that sharing?
yeah. I can see.
Yeah. So if we go to the field manual, you can see like, I go to Space Force, for example. Um, all good, like gives me everything. And then at the bottom, I get like all of the detachments, my false dispositions.
Yeah,
So, like, for example, when we played, I took, what did I take? I took Saga of the Great Wolf, which
yep,
gives me the take and hold disposition. And then I also took Veterans of the Fang, which gives me disruption. So I was like, right, which one am I going to pick? I'm going to pick take and hold. But what I would have liked to do while I'm in that construction step is understand, right, if I pick take and hold, the
yeah,
5 missions, primary missions that I'm going to get are going to be, this, or this. They're all going to be of a
yeah,
similar thing, but they're going to change depending on who you're matched up against.
yeah,
But that will give me more of a, like, that will give me a view of actually, okay, if they're the 5 types of missions I can get, are they the types of missions that I like playing? And have I got the right units to play those missions? Before I then
yeah,
think, okay, I actually, instead of Saga of the Great Wolf, What I'm actually going to do is go for Saga of the Beast Slayer, which is the one that I would normally play. And I think I'm going to go back to after our test battle to be like, right, let's get that on because that is Purge the Foe. And then actually, I've got one DP to spend somewhere else. So what am I going to do? And then I might go, I'll just pick Champions of Fenris, for example. So I know I'm just Purge the Foe.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about anything at that point. I've got, one or the other. That's fine. And at the moment, that's the bit where I can't see any.
No, I don't think that's. I've just quickly blasted through while you were doing that, and I can't see it in the app. It's on
Yeah,
the cards, so if you can wait when you get cards, that won't be an issue. But yeah, it's odd that it's not easily findable because I'm typing in forced disposition and missions, and it's just saying when you get to that point, pick your mission. It's like, yeah, I know
yeah.
that.
And I did the same thing. And again, this I suppose this is one of the bit that's a bit glitchy about the app that I think we found is that once you kind of go past certain stages in the app and you're built like in the war journal when you're
Yeah,
building like the battle, even if you just want to use it as a reference to test out to be like, right, I'm going to see what my missions are, you can't go back and edit like you can with things like tabletop
yeah,
battles, which can make it a bit clunky. I don't. That's not breaking. And as you said, if you've got the cards, I think that solves it. It's just it feels a little bit weird, not weird, just a bit clunky.
yeah.
That for almost everything else, you've got digital assets, but for that particular thing, you just don't have it unless you're going to a third party site to actually have a look at what your missions could be.
No, that's it. Especially if you're like getting ready to go to a tournament or something. It's just such a. I mean, obviously, you don't necessarily know who you're going to play, but it's kind of hard to even sort of think, well, what am I going to match up against? What am I?
I mean, like, so again, a good example, like Gladius Task Force, like a lot of people are going to be taking that
Mm,
to begin with because it was a very strong Space Marine detachment last edition. So probably be a lot of people starting with it anyway. If you take priority assets, you're only going to have like one of five primary missions over the day because you're either going to be matching up against someone with priority assets, someone with reconnaissance, someone with take and hold, someone with
yeah,
purge. You might not even you might match like multiple people with priority assets or something like that. So you're going to have similar missions throughout the day, if that makes sense. It's not, and that so even if you are at a tournament and you don't necessarily know who you're going to be playing, I think you're still going to have an idea that you're going to have the chances are like X mission is going to come up or similar.
yeah,
Because as I said, and again, that's part of it. I haven't had a look yet, so I don't know. But like Purge the Foe, I'm going to imagine that there is a variation of trying to kill enemies.
yeah,
Some of it might be because I had a brief read, it will be like trying to kill certain enemies, and some of it will be like Purge versus Purge. You get meat grinder. It is what it says on the tin. You just got to kill each other.
yeah.
But like Purge versus what was the one? Taken hold, or it was one of them, like Purge versus one of them. Like it was you get like consecrated. Oh, that's it, consecrate. So that's versus reconnaissance.
Right.
So what happens is you have to destroy. So so let's I'll read it as it's got here. So consecrate. So the mechanic is each time one of my units destroys an enemy unit, my unit becomes a consecration unit. And at
Hmm.
the end of my turn, each consecration unit that's in range of an objective that isn't my home objective or an objective that's been consecrated already, I can place a marker on that objective. That objective is now consecrated, and your consecration unit is no longer a consecration unit. So basically, you kill stuff, pass that blessing onto the objective, and
Yeah.
repeat.
Okay.
So again, you've still got to kill stuff,
Yeah.
but there's a like you have to kill stuff and do something.
And move around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
So it's
going.
you know, like again, for me, like in my head, I'm thinking, okay, that's relatively simple. It is, you know, if I've got purge, it's going to be about killing stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's like, you know, very low. I suppose it's like it's quite low mental load, especially for the start of the edition, where you're like, right, there's so much to remember and to do, and you know, like that's the other side of it is like I'm sure we'll start getting it when the data comes through, but you'll probably have a lot of people playing like the purges and stuff like that early on, purge the foe early on because it is easy to get used to. But you'll get the people that will play loads and loads and they'll do all the reps, and it will be people that play Thousand Suns, Eldar or Eldari, things like that, the trixier type factions, who will then suddenly start finding that actually, you know, mission or like, you know, reconnaissance detachment versus something else is what really works for them.
yeah.
We'll just have to see how that develops. But that was one of the bugbears I had is couldn't find that. It's fine, like there's ways around it. It was just I think it was a little bit strange that they give you all of the other ways to play except for that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I suppose the other thing that came up because we were talking while we were talking about it was we had I actually thought of three different bits and pieces that we had to look up or
Mhm.
we couldn't necessarily find an answer for, so we just needed to check we were playing it correctly.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously at the time we both agreed certain ways of doing it, and I think that worked fine. So the first one that I remember was the cover rule for unit, and when we say units, particularly infantry, beasts, and swarm
yeah,
that are in a terrain area. And in this instance, your vehicle, a Mephitic Blight Hauler, had poked its toe into the terrain area. Absolutely fine. And we know that if you poke a toe in this edition, that means you can then see through the other side, which
yeah,
is a change from the previous edition. But poked in, so you can then see my infantry unit that's in the terrain area. Does my infantry unit get the benefit of cover still? Because effectively we're in the same terrain area.
yeah.
Now, after a bit of research earlier today, I came to the conclusion after checking Google's sources, because obviously you get AI mode now and it starts referencing Reddit articles from 2018, whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not right. But after double checking sources and reading through everything, it looks like yes, you would still get cover.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
and that would also include this is the other bits because I was checking into it. If there were two infantry units in the same terrain area
Yeah.
shooting at each other, you still get the benefit of cover.
'Cause I guess you're inside a load of rubble.
But that's
That's the
that's
way you look at
like
it. So yeah.
narratively, it's like people are ducking and diving behind
Yeah.
walls and stuff like that. But no, it
Mhm.
it was like because it doesn't matter like the way it was I was reading it out and researching it. It doesn't matter where the shooter's unit is, it
Right.
matters where the target unit is. And the
Okay.
rules at the moment, as written, are infantry, beast, and swarms in a terrain area get the benefit of cover.
Yeah. Okay.
So we did play it right.
Yep.
Um, and that appears to be, as of now, the correct way of playing it until it's
Okay.
changed, FAQ'd, or tweaked.
Yep.
It is if you are one of those three and you are in a terrain area, you get the benefit of cover.
Okay. It make it makes sense. It doesn't make sense looking at it on the gaming table, but the way
Yep.
you explain it, like, yeah, it's not you've not just walked into an empty warehouse. You're in the woods, or you're in a blown out building with loads of rubble to hide behind. That
And
makes
there's smoke and stuff going on. And like I
yeah,
think what's different about it is because it is also different to last edition, right?
yeah,
Where, if someone is in a building and you're also in that terrain piece, you can see each other. So
yeah,
cover's gone. Whereas in this, it's like actually no, if it's one of the qualifying units and it's in a terrain area, it still gets the benefit of cover.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
And then the other bit that led me down a rabbit hole off the back of that was that if you're partially on a terrain area, so towing into it. So the example that I gave was there's one of the long strip pieces that's got like a conduit on it.
Hmm.
And there are four big units, but all of their bases are just touching that rectangle.
Yeah.
They are classed as in that terrain area and so can get the benefit of hidden, even though like loads of their base is not actually on the terrain area.
Right.
So the example they gave was like Gazgol with like four mega knobs.
Mm.
That they could get the benefit of being hidden. They
Right.
don't shoot, and they're not in detection range because they are in the terrain area.
Okay.
So it's a bit gamey.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like one of the gamey bits, if that makes sense, is
Yeah.
that you can then. But I suppose partly that's the intention, right? It's like narratively they're running along, ducking and diving around pipes and stuff, and they're trying not to be seen until they get a bit closer. It
It's
feels a
just
bit.
fog of war, isn't it? So like
Yeah,
the tanks pressed up against the side of a building, towing the terrain feature, but like yeah, there's smoke
yeah,
and shit going about. So
yeah. So
okay.
so so it's interesting. And then so that was the infantry unit in terrain gets the benefit of cover. Then the next one, this was one we didn't talk about, but me and you didn't talk about, but we did talk about it, but we didn't look it up. We just assumed we were doing it right. And that was if there's a unit has been detected by another unit further up,
Yeah.
can units that are further back then shoot the unit that was hidden has now been detected?
Yeah.
At the time we played it as yes. Again, we got it right. That is how you play it.
Right.
So as long as the units further back can meet all of the rules requirements, i.e., they can see it, they're in range, all of that sort of stuff. If it's been detected by a more forward unit, then it is eligible to be shot because it's not classed as hidden anymore. It's detected.
So, but if that unit has to have shot the friendly unit,
No.
so
So
that
what I
doesn't
mean
make,
is let's say so in the example we had, and we got it wrong
yeah,
anyway because we were dealing with a drone. Drones don't count because they're a vehicle.
yeah,
But let's say that was a squad of plague marines.
yep,
So that squad of plague marines is in the central terrain area. They haven't shot, so they
yep,
are hidden.
yes,
My head takers move into that terrain area.
hmm,
They are now in detection range and have seen your hidden unit.
yeah,
So they're now no longer hidden because they're detected.
yeah. So then it's something
My
behind,
ballistas
yeah,
behind that wasn't before in wouldn't have been in detection range now
right,
doesn't matter because they've been detected.
okay. Almost feels pointless in a way.
That's the way. Yeah, because I looked it up and I was like, that is how at the moment it's written.
Yeah. Okay. Because I would have thought if you've moved in, then fine. The head takers can
The head takers, because they're going to be in
all
detection
day,
range,
every
right?
day. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
within that 15 inches. That makes sense to me. But then it's like because yeah, I guess so because they've been found, haven't they?
that's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
they're no longer they've now been detected, and
Yeah.
the unit further back can see them.
Hmm. Okay.
But that might be one that we could do like potentially further research on.
Yeah.
That was just based on what I was Googling this morning. Obviously, it didn't matter in our game because it was the bloat drone anyway, which is a
Yeah.
vehicle,
Yeah.
which
And it did. After looking it up, it didn't matter.
doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that was that one. So maybe there's a bit more we need to look at with that one
Yeah.
to confirm it. Then the other one was the new updated heroic intervention.
Yeah.
So does the new updated heroic intervention give the charge bonus? When it first came up, we're like, no, we played it as 10th.
Yeah.
Then reread it and we're like, oh no, we should play it as the card currently says it, you would get the benefit, you would get the charge benefit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't play it that because we'd already played it one way, so it wouldn't have been fair to then change it.
Yeah.
So that one is one that again, it has effectively had a boost and it has changed. So if you do heroic intervention at the moment, then you do get the charge benefit. So you will
Okay.
get fights first. So
Yeah.
that makes it a much more powerful, like a much more powerful stratagem than it was previously,
Yeah.
because suddenly you're given the option to effectively heroically intervene and give yourself that fights first ability, which, as we know, maybe fights first is not as good as it was in last edition, but it's still a hell of a lot better than old heroic intervention, which was you'd heroic and you then have to take your lumps before you
Yeah.
get the chance to hit back. Whereas now, effectively, you're generating an interrupt.
That's not bad, is it?
It's
Considering the
really
interrupt
good.
costs you 2 CP, and you could do that for 1 or 2, depending on what you're doing.
But like, well, it's the one CP one is it's within 12 inches, but it has to be a unit that charged, right? So you're
Yeah.
leaping to defend or whatever it is. And then the other one is you can do it to anyone, but it's 2 CP. If you've got anything that reduces CP, like reduces CP by one, or anything like that, or manufactures the cost, takes it down. Suddenly, it's almost like your combat version of Overwatch,
Mm.
because you're like at the end of your turn, like the end of your charge phase, I can just be like, right, yeah, I'm going to pop heroic intervention and I'm going to charge this unit in, and you're just going to have to you either going to fight them or you're going to let them get a load of free hits in your turn.
Yeah. That's
Um, yeah, and things like I was just thinking about it, like the jump pack intercessor captain who gets to reduce things by one CP. He's doing that for free,
yeah.
or the 6-inch one for one CP, and then the this is then more space wolfy, but there's one of the detachments. I want to say it's the Champions of Fenris, but I might have got that one wrong. It's one of the C1 DP ones, so I think it might be. Oh no, it might be Legends of Saga and Song. It might be. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
One of the one DP ones for the Space Wolves allow you to do that heroic intervention strat as many times as you like, as long as you've got the CP to do it.
Mm.
So if I've still got the captain jump intercessor still alive,
Yeah.
maybe I've got other captains, in this case I haven't, but I've got him still alive. In theory, then I could do, if I've got the CP, or for one CP, I've got 2 units that are going to be heroically intervening in
Yeah.
your charge phase. If I've got more CP, I've got more units that are doing it.
Yeah.
And that could really ruin someone's charge phase.
Yeah. I know, it's so upsetting. And that's the thing as well, because you can't go, well, I'm not going to charge then, because now you can heroic for 2 and do it anyway.
Yeah, and it's the same as where we found, like when we were playing, and the changes to Overwatch
Yeah.
is quite interesting, because it's like, well, I'm not going to move them because I don't want to get overwatched. But it's like, well, it doesn't matter now. You can overwatch anyone, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So you may as well move them because they might get overwatched regardless.
Yeah.
And what the two things I think I found about that, it highlighted that Overwatch can be really powerful, but really it's only really powerful with flamer weapons, or torrent, should I
Yeah.
say? Because obviously Death Guard have got torrenty weapons, and that really, that's where it really works. I think I did what 2 or 3 times I had to go at Overwatch and it didn't really do anything. It was like, okay,
Mm.
fine. Like sometimes it
Yeah.
does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. I had a really successful Overwatch, didn't I?
Well, you had one very successful one and one not so successful one,
Yeah.
depending on your viewpoint. Now, the first one you did,
Yeah.
for me, it was very
It was
successful.
wonderful, wasn't it? Snake eyes.
Yeah, like big old bloke drone, 2 big spewers, and gets two shots.
Yeah.
Nice, very good. No.
Awful.
But then, later on you had your Death Shroud,
Yeah, they did it much
and
better.
they did like 17 hits or something like that, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Like, so I think, like that'd be quite good. Like with the Thousand Sun, Warp Flamers, I think Overwatch for them has become a lot better.
yeah.
Plus,
And
they'll have Psychic as well. Well, no, they
yeah,
won't because that's not Psychic weapon, but it becomes a lot better.
yeah, and especially with the way that cover works now, because it doesn't affect your save. So if you're
No, exactly.
torrenting anyway, and then no, any AP is just pretty brutal all round, isn't it?
Yeah, even -1 AP, and
Yeah,
like I think -1 AP just generally is now much better than it used to be.
yeah,
The other thing is obviously your Death Guard detachment abilities,
yeah,
where you get to pick, for most of last edition, it was just okay. I know I'm hitting on one less.
yeah,
Now it looks like for this edition, I'm going to be saving on one less,
yeah, yeah,
and that's just going to be it. And so
yeah,
again, it's going to be like, right, how can I give my how can I give my army invulnerable saves? Because that's the only way I'm going to be saving stuff.
yeah,
Invulnerable saves become so much more powerful than they were just because of that AP side of things.
absolutely.
Because it's although cover is arguably easier to get. In some instances easier to get, and in other instances it's not.
Yeah,
Because once one model in a unit is not in cover, the whole unit is not in cover, doesn't get the
yeah,
benefit of cover. Even though, what was it? Even though there was something I was looking at today, because I think it was Auspex Tactics, literally did a video on the shooting phase. When you're shooting, you don't do it unit to unit. So you take each model in a unit. So if all of the models, so if let's say, for example, you've got a squad of 5 Plague Marines,
yeah,
if 4 of the Plague Marines can see one whole model or
yeah.
whatever, those 4 don't hit on the negative ballistic skill.
Right.
But if one of them can't, or can only see units that are in cover, only see models that are in cover,
Yeah.
he does have the -1 ballistic
Oh,
skill.
okay.
So
Yeah,
it's not that it's done on a model by model basis as opposed to a unit basis.
right. Okay.
So that adds further complexity to what I suppose was trying to be a bit simpler.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things you just got to slow it down when you get to that sort of squad then and go, right, these 4 go first. And even if you're doing all the weapons, like if you've got all the same weapons or something, it's a bit of a pain in the ass for Plague Marines because I run 5 different weapon profiles normally.
Which
So,
you should do, right? Because
yeah.
that's the power of the Plague Marine, right?
Oh,
You're allowed to take all of
no,
these different.
absolutely. It's just remember, right, okay, well, now this one's going to, oh, you can see that one, and this one can't see that one.
Yeah.
The position in the flamers so they can always see everything. Or
And
they
it
don't need to see everything so clearly.
and it might be like I was going to say it's going to be one of those that it's reps that find it, right? So
Yeah,
like you'll probably get this edition a lot quicker because now you're going to the club more often.
yeah,
You're going to naturally get more games in and get up to speed quite quickly.
mm,
Tournaments will really help. Events really help because that's where you learn a lot of the stuff and you're like, oh, okay, that I've been playing it this way, but actually everyone else seems to play it this way.
yeah,
That's how I'm supposed to be doing it. Um, and I think we'll find that very quickly with things like cover.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, so generally, yeah, the only one that we're a little bit less clear on is the spotter unit, I'm going to call it. So if someone goes forward, detects someone, and then that would be visible to someone further back,
so
can that unit further back shoot?
I've just had a little look at the core rules.
Very nice.
I'll read it to you, and I think that the way you said it was not quite right. So a model is hidden while all of the following apply to it.
Yeah,
That model has the infantry beast swarm keyword.
yeah,
It's
that
within a
bit's right.
terrain area that contains one or more dense terrain features.
Yep.
That model's unit did not make one or more ranged attacks during this turn or during the previous turns.
Except for the first turn. First turn is
Yeah.
counts. Yeah.
So while a model is hidden, it can only be visible to enemy models that are within its detection range.
Gotcha. But that's it then.
Unless otherwise stated, is 15 inches. So
Fine. So
head
that
takers, yes. Blisters, no.
no, because it's not within
Yeah.
detection range. That's fine. Until a point when they've shot. And
Yeah, and that
then
makes the hidden rule a little bit more powerful, I think.
yes, well that then because that it does make sense because there is I think it's the Grey Hunters detachment that we ran before.
Mm,
One of their abilities is if they detect or no, that's it. One of the enhancements you can take
yeah,
is if they run forward and detect an enemy unit,
yeah.
they increase the detection range to 18 inches as
Right,
opposed to
and
15
that's why they split down into two packs and run off.
to try and
Yeah,
yeah. So the idea with it though, I think the narrative idea with the Grey Hunters is they run off into packs and do their thing, but they've also got really high OC.
yeah,
So like if you've got five of them on an objective, that's 15 OC.
yeah, yeah,
Like so that's they're supposed to run off, they're supposed to run into stuff,
yeah,
and they're supposed to find stuff. And one of them did do that all right. Like they held on to one objective for pretty much four turns of the game.
yeah.
Um, the other one, just ran off and got killed. Um, but again, and like I suppose, yeah, if we talk about that in a degree, like so, obviously that first of all, we've cleared up our first round of questions in terms of how the game works.
Yeah,
Obviously, we'll see how that changes in other editions. But overall, the game itself, I thought it went. Yeah, I said it went all right. Played okay. I
yeah,
definitely learnt a lot. Because I think if we talk about our list a little bit, I went all in on can I try and use all of the Space Wolfy stuff that I can.
yeah.
So kind of throughout my use of things like infiltrators, tanks, all of that sort of stuff, get that out and just got like head takers, blood claws, grey hunters, Wolfguard Terminators, Logan Grimnar, Meow Stormcaller, Ragnar Blackmane, full shebang. Let's give it a go. The Wolf Priest, the Wolf Guard, Battle Leader, all of that
Mhm.
jazz. Let's give it a
Yeah,
go. Um, and although it's a nice narrative list, it definitely didn't work. Like as in there wasn't enough. Like it was obviously one of the things that, with this edition, which I think was coming true when we were there. It is still a very brutal edition.
yeah,
Like you as you said, I think when we talked about it afterwards, it's an edition where you got to be really comfortable being able to trade and knowing what you want to trade.
yeah.
And as I said, we still went to five turns and we still both had stuff left. I think you had a load of poxwalkers and I had as generally right up until the end, I had a dreadnought and blood claws and I don't know if I had anything else other than that
Logan was
actually.
there, wasn't he? And maybe a
Oh
certain.
yeah, and some maybe some Terminators, yeah. So still had some bits and pieces, and you had like all of your poxwalkers still.
Yeah,
Um, so there was a lot of killy stuff that had happened, but in terms of scoring the points, and I think that was the important bit, um, like that just the army that I had, the list I couldn't score anything, couldn't
no,
score any secondaries, couldn't really score any primary, not up to the point where it needed to. And because of the nature of your Poxwalker list, which I think is going to be particularly good this edition, it also just meant there wasn't any room anywhere to kind of do any shenanigans. Not really until right at the end.
yeah,
Because it was right at the end that you kind of free up a little bit and there's a bit more table space, and it's like, oh, okay, now the scouts can do this and
yeah,
do that. So it was interesting in that regard. As I said, it I had a look at a list earlier today, as it might have been yesterday, and I was like, right, what would I change? And I'd be like, right, I'd probably actually go back to because I was running Saga of the Great Wolf because I had Logan Grimnar and I'd had it painted for our last game of 10th.
yeah,
And his detachment's fine. But a world where you've got the option to run more than one detachment was like you do get to make these narrative lists, but then you've got to work out what you're going to drop and what you're going to not. And I probably picked the wrong balance. So I've now gone back to the Saga of the Beast Slayer, which is the lethal hits against vehicles, monster, and character units. And then once the saga's complete, lethal hits against everything.
Yeah, which I
And
quite like because it does help you kill the units you need to kill, doesn't it?
yeah, and even when I'm doing like Logan Grimnar's one, the special rule that I'm triggering twice is always the one where I get to pick lethal or sustained.
Yeah,
And invariably I'm also always picking lethal.
yeah, absolutely.
So I think I'm going to go back to that because I
Mm,
think that one will probably work quite well in 10th. And then that also gives me Purge the Foe for my disposition.
yeah,
And then it's what other one do I do with it? And one of them gives the Wolfguard Terminators +1 to charge.
yeah,
Okay, that's cool. And the other one, what's the other one? The other one is that one where effectively you can do Space Wolf characters can do heroic intervention as many times as they like.
yeah. That's horrible.
So yeah, at the
Mm,
moment, I can't remember. I'll have to look at the list. I think that's the one that I am going for. But
yeah,
what it allows me to do is it doesn't. That's only one disposition, but it just focuses on character units.
yeah,
So it's not really focusing on any one Space Wolf unit. It's just saying character units.
yeah,
That works nicely with Beast Slayer because effectively, or it works nicely with any of the detachment list because effectively, I'm always going to be running character like units with characters.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that, so so there's going to be loads of examples where hopefully I'm able to trigger the detachment rules and probably in a way that will benefit the mission.
Yeah,
It also helps, like again, focus the mind on what I need to paint
yeah, yeah. Because it could be all over the place.
because that's the key thing. Is like okay,
Yeah,
right? I just back to being like right. What do I actually need to paint next? I've got to get the jump pack intercessors done. Paint those, get those done, then move on to the next thing. What do I need to paint after that? Right, I need to paint, depending on how it goes, then I need to paint a battle leader. I've got one, but I want the official one painted, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Then I've got to paint head takers, then I've got to paint blood claws if I want the official ones rather than the assault intercessors, things like that. But
Nice. You're the wolf. Like you got loads of time to get it done.
still going. I've still
Yeah.
got my little checkbox. Getting there slowly. Um, but like, because I'm just thinking about our next event in July,
Yes.
and I'm like, right, that's where I want. Like the list I've just written is probably the list. A variation of that is what I'm probably going to take. So I'm
Yeah.
like, right, can I get the reps in and see whether this works?
Mm.
From your point of view, how did
Yeah.
how did you find running the again more than one disposition, the additional rules? How did it work for a Death Guard perspective?
Yeah. So really liked it. So I did my Shamble Rock, which is the Poxwalkers list, which I've been enjoying playing. And then that list basically was Poxwalkers and vehicles anyway, and
Yeah,
Morty. So I've dropped Morty and put in drones and blight haulers. And I took the putrescent engines, I can't remember what it's called,
yeah,
where all your demon engines get the ability to have the assault keywords, which was really handy for throwing, especially like, so I got Poxwalkers infiltrating, putting out contagion out, throw vehicles down that do the damage, in theory, and then hopefully get you into contagion. So by round two, that's where the Death Shroud come in.
yeah,
Um, so it's a variation of the list I was playing already, and yeah, I mean it was good. Like, and I really liked. I think I picked a good mission like Death Trap
yeah,
because like although you got Defender, I could still put enough box walkers out there so I could in my shooting phase, trap an objective, and that scores you 2 points. Or trap a terrain feature for 2 points. If it's an objective, you get 5 points.
5 points.
And then
Yeah.
every time if you kill something in a round that's in a trapped terrain feature, bonus 4 points. So I think round 2, I'd already built quite a nasty lead just by
Yeah.
the sheer number of poxwalkers that were out in the field already.
That I totally agree. And you were also scoring secondary at the same time.
Yeah, well, and that's it. And that's quite an interesting thing. Like being able to hold those secondaries. You never really got a go turn with yours, did you? Like you had
No,
6 on the go at one point and scored
yeah.
2.
I think it was, as I said, it was as we got towards the end of the battle, I actually started picking up some points.
Yeah.
But it was just, yeah, it was really difficult to kind of,
Mm.
because I think that's the thing with the Poxwalker list does really well for you, is it gives you loads of board control.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, with your, because I think the extra rules for the what's it called, the engines,
Yeah.
plague engines, just gives them that little bit extra utility.
Yeah.
Because none of them are easy. Like they're all toughness 9.
Yeah.
They all move
Temperance.
loads,
Yeah.
and they've all got pretty nasty weapons and special rules.
Yeah.
So like the drones, and that's where things like lethal hits really help, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't have for a lot of the battle, because it's like all of my army is wounding a lot of your drones and stuff on 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
So it's like anything that can help you bypass that or give you that additional like +1 to wound and stuff like that is what's
Yeah.
needed.
And I think that's the round when you use that saga to give lethal or sustained as you were going through. That's when I started losing, like the Demon Prince
Yeah.
fell to that. Demon Prince with Wings had his first run out.
Yeah.
Because battle shock is important, as we learned. Like it is important.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to force that. I don't think it paid off this game, but then I think I got thrown him into a position where he's going to fight a dreadnought that's too tough. Even with contagion, I didn't touch you, and you punched me to death.
I think that was an interesting part, because that was where, like, again, that's how it worked out, right? You'd gone in with the Demon Prince to charge squishy
The wolves,
Marines.
yeah,
Oh, the wolves, yeah. So
yeah,
you're gonna pick them up. But my dreadnought was close enough to heroically intervene.
yeah,
So it's
and
like, here we
yeah.
go.
In hindsight, because the plan was for him and the drone to run up that right flank and go there, but then the wolves are just too like I can't ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then unfortunately the dread. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like um, with AP and stuff now, like even though your toughness goes down, the Demon Prince just can't wound you on 5s, and if I'm not getting those lethal hits in, it's just okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get in a position where a Dread and a Demon Prince will stand there and
Well, they'll
chip
bounce
away
off.
for an entire
Yeah.
game,
They'll
which is
bounce off
still
each
what
other.
happened. I think you punched it to death in 2 turns.
Yeah, it wasn't like an immediate. I didn't like pick him up.
No.
It took a couple of turns of
Yeah.
back and forth to get there.
Yeah, and that was when you gave it the ability to have lethal, and it was just 4 went for it. And the other thing is, when you're not saving your 4-ups, it's just ridiculous. Like just picking Terminators and Demon Princes up, it's insane.
I think it's always one of those annoying things, but across the entire game, the number of it is going to be statistically fine. Like you
Yeah.
are going to be rolling, 50% of the dice you roll are likely to be 4+s. It's just you're probably rolling those 4+s when, in turn 1 when you're hitting on a 2,
Yeah.
and you roll like a Yahtzee of 4, 5s, and 6s, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh great. And then for the rest of the game, because that's your allotment done. The
Yeah.
rest of the game you're going to catch up with 1s, 2s, and 3s, and you're like, spread them
Yeah.
out a bit differently.
Well, I genuinely like. I was looking forward to this edition. I think I was just looking forward to a change.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. And it's easy to say when you win, but I thought it was a fun game. Like I like the way that it a lot of the stuff that happens in the game makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I
I found it easier to play, um, and I liked having opposite missions as well,
yeah,
doing something different.
I think there's a lot to it, and I think, as I said, I think maybe like one of the bits that I do like is obviously list building and learning, once you've built a list, what worked and what didn't,
Yeah,
and then adapting it for the next one. And I think that is that's the fun bit about like the first battle is like, right, okay, this edition, this works or this doesn't or whatever. I think, as I said, a lot of the advice that a lot of much more, reputable gamers, YouTube creators, and people that are much better than the game than us
yeah,
are saying is, to begin with, don't go too far off what you know.
mm.
Like stick with something. Like if you've been running like one type of army for all of 10th edition, keep running that army because actually it still does all the same stuff.
Yeah,
So like if you know it, keep running it
yeah,
and do that first. So I think that will definitely be, like I said, that's what I've effectively done is I've looked at the list and I've gone, okay, I'm going to go back to that,
yeah,
like what I've run before, still with some tweaks. I'm not like I've not put the Land Raider in, like still don't have the Iron Priest in,
mm.
like bits and pieces like that. But I was doing that before anyway, where I was kind of flirting with, do I run head takers or do I run something else?
Yeah,
Stuff like that. Um, Again, we'll see what happens. Um, I think a lot of this edition will, as you said, well, as we've said, is going to be about that ability to trade and
yeah,
trade the right way. Like
yeah,
you want to be as much as possible trading up. Um, and that's going to be where the nuance of the game comes in, I think.
yeah. I think yeah. Other than the Death Shroud being expensive, I think my list was even the Demon Engines. I mean, they've gone up a little bit, but that's the other interesting thing, isn't it? Like your third option in a lot of cases cost you more
Yeah,
because like drones 100 points and then they shoot up to 120 on your third one or something like that. Um, that's why I ran a pair of light haulers instead of three individuals to keep points
yeah.
down.
It is that is interesting in because as I said, I think that's definitely no, I think we spoke about this when we played the game as well. I think it definitely is going to affect people that have got larger collections
Mm,
where they've got free of everything because
yeah,
that's always been the meta. And now with anything, I think GW is trying to encourage a more two. You can run free,
yeah,
but maybe try running two and having more variety.
yeah,
Which I don't mind because for me, the kind of collection size I've got, that's more what I've got. If that makes sense.
yeah. Because I ran three Death Shroud. They're still 160 points, but that third one was 170. So 10 points for what they do ain't that bad. They are
I think
expensive,
I
but
think I think that I think with the Death Shroud, it's interesting because does the Lord of Contagion cost more if you run free of him?
probably. Let me put one in. I've got it open here. So they're 120 points, and then a third one. No, three. All three of them 120 points.
Yeah. So I again I think
It's just going to be in your other data sheet section, isn't it?
yeah. I still think that the as I said, that Death Shroud with Lord of Contagion is still
Yeah,
like that is peak combo. I always think like because the last battle, like obviously you ran two Death Shroud with Lords and
yeah,
then one Death Shroud with Typhus,
yeah.
who successfully started the edition by blowing his own brains up. Well done, Typhus.
I can't believe it.
He got one off before he did it.
He did, yeah. And then he did three more wounds to himself.
Yeah, he got one off before he killed
Yeah,
himself.
yeah,
But I always think that unit is more effective with the Lord than it is with Typhus.
oh yeah, 100% it is. Yeah,
And so that's if I think if you're going to run free, I'd try and run free with the Lord, but then obviously it's still a lot of points, right? Because then if you still want Typhus as well, like again, you can stick him in like a unit of
It go with the Poxwalkers.
Poxwalkers, and
Yeah,
then it's just ablative wounds, right? Because you're like every time he does blow his head off, he won't blow his head off, he'll blow the heads off
yeah.
Poxwalkers.
And if he does kill some Poxwalkers, when he can do it and kill some Marines, they can stand back up. That's
Yeah,
not a bad thing. I mean, because Typhus is only 100 points.
exactly.
He's cheap. But the only thing is now with this edition, whereas before it was always when you're in contagion range, -1 to, or +1 to hit, whatever way it is, worse than your hit. Because now the Death Guard rule is only in melee, I'm not going to run it because you're just going to shoot me anyway. So
Yeah.
Typhus's built-in ability in combat now actually does keep those Death Shroud alive a little bit longer.
That's
It
true.
does
Yeah,
push
that is
you up,
true.
unless you're ignoring it. So him with Death Shroud, yeah, obviously I don't want him blowing a Death Shroud's head off or his own, but that's the sad risk you take that I seem to be good at doing. So yeah, maybe we'll give it a couple more runs. I think I'll give the Demon Prince another chance. I think
Yeah, I don't think he did too bad. I think
no,
it's, it is just what it is, right?
yeah, he was a good threat, sat on that side. Yeah, and if he'd gone into it, if he'd managed to attack the wolves before the dread got to him, it would have been a different story, I think. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
maybe I should have fed him back in hindsight. But yeah, you don't learn how to play these things if you only run them once and take them out there.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like as I said, the Grey Hunters will probably go on the shelf for the next battle, but that doesn't mean they're going to be done and dusted. I think for this edition, we will see. As I said, I think there is utility in running them, in the same way that with your Demon Prince, there's definitely ways of doing it.
yeah. I need to I don't know whether it's dropping some Poxwalkers because I want to run a upgrade on the two haulers
Yeah,
because then whenever it fights, one of the models can heal D3 wounds.
yeah, that's
And
quite
that's a
nice.
good thing. But my list that I played with you was 1995. So I need to somehow scrape 10 points. But that means either dropping a drone or and then
Yeah,
put
because
something in.
yeah, because that enhancement is it heals wounds on the unit?
Yeah, so one of the models in that unit can heal D3 wounds. So if I run two, it just stays on that unit. So if you kill one, it stays
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So it's pretty
exactly.
handy.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, especially when they were my beacon that you just like ground to a halt.
You still scored it though,
Still scored it, yeah, absolutely.
because as I said, and I quite like that with the secondaries. Is there seems to be more ways of scoring. I say more ways of scoring. Some secondaries they've given more ways of scoring, so you get small and big for a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Some secondaries they've taken away,
Yeah,
like where you had the because was it Secure No Man's Land?
you have to have two now, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it used to be your home objective on one,
Mm.
and now it's like just two, but they have to be in
Yeah, but I
home
think as
objective.
well that plays in like because where you can hold on to it, if you know it's going well, and you
Yeah,
think okay, at the end of the game, I'm definitely gonna have two because he's running out. That's good.
yeah, that is
Also,
true.
on the flip side of it, if you draw it late and you're like, well, I'm fucking struggling here, like,
I've got no units. What's going on?
yeah, what do I
Yeah,
do? So
I mean
it's
that might be when you spend the CP to get rid of it, right?
yeah, yeah. Or you literally throw everything forwards and go, okay, you want me to
Yeah,
you want me to be violent? Here we go.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah. Is that
it was a good game. I enjoyed the change.
yeah? As I said, I think it will be. No, I definitely enjoyed it. I thought there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of quality of life updates they've made. I
Yeah,
think it'll become even better as people get used to it and start running it more. I think I'm looking forwards to when the deck arrives because that's, as I said, the list builder in me will start then working that with what my primaries are likely to be so that I can be like, right, okay, actually, that's how I like to play. That's the units I've got. I think I can do those versus, I'm never going to be able to, like a lot of armies. it's never going to be a lot of action orientated stuff.
No.
Sometimes you're going to have to do that anyway because that's just the nature of the game, and that's fine. But it's trying to work out how you adapt to that. So I think it is going to. I think it's a lot of positives to take into the next couple of games.
Yeah.
I can't remember when we've got our next one in.
Well, the next one is penciled in on the 2nd.
Okay, so
Just
we've
because
got
this week, I'm going to be a bit preoccupied with
the shed.
sheds and stuff. Unless you can maybe, I don't know, maybe the 30th or the 1st if you're available, but I don't think you are, I don't think you were when I put those dates.
No, yeah, it's the 30th I've got in. We've got the 30th.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
All right, let me pencil that out. Okay, 30th. Because I didn't have the one in.
I was just looking at the calendar. I was like, no, yeah, I put the 30th in.
Okay, I will add that one as well. There we go. We've got
There
one
we
more.
go.
And then we've got the 2nd, Saturday the 4th. I could probably do a couple that day because I've got the day off.
Yeah, so the 30th. What one was the next one?
So we got the 30th. Then I've got us penciled in on the 2nd, Thursday the 2nd.
Okay.
And then the 4th we're penciled in, but I'm off that Saturday because I've got Metallica either side of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that
If
should
you
be.
want to do a couple games Saturday,
We could probably do that, yeah.
yeah. And then we got a couple more booked in the 10th and the 16th, and potentially the 21st.
Yeah, because then the 20, whatever one it was, the 25th was that's when we've actually got the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay. All right, excellent. Sorry, everyone that's watching along. You've just heard our social calendar for when we're going to be playing games. But important to get those reps in. Yeah, get those reps in and see what happens. And then obviously between then, we'll see what happens for you at the club.
Well, do you know what? Funny you should say that because Wednesday I'm playing 10th edition.
Yes, you're still in your tournament, right?
Yeah. So it's the knockouts, and I'm going up against Emperor's Children.
Oh yes, of course. That's a tasty looking group.
Yeah. So I'll let you know how that goes. And then be a complete mindfuck for Thursday.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll take it easy and play as we can, play as we do.
Yeah. Cool. But I think that's all us caught up for another week.
Yeah. A lot. The 11th has started. Let's see how we go.
Yeah. And if you're obviously watching this after recording, let us know how you're getting on with it. Comment, like, share, subscribe, tell us how it's going. All that stuff. Cool. All right.
Perfect. All right.
Right. See you next Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye all.